What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. Welcome back to another live show. I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back.
The energy in the room just...
It's back up.
It's just escalating.
Do you know what it is, yeah?
I call you the energy bunny.
I don't mind that. What's that? It's a Duracell bunny then, isn't it? They the ones with the battery.
Not to mention your new acquired nickname, Salt Bay Cecil.
Stop saying that on fucking line, Laurie. Stop saying
Salt Bay Cecil.
Stop saying that.
Because all the little picture ops and
I don't harass people, bro. Allow me.
Salt Bay Cecil. That's his name, people.
Stop, because people will start calling me that.
That's what I want.
No,
I gave you that name and I want that name to be thing.
Nah, man. Nah, but listen, you're back as well after, people would have known because Robbie was supposed to go to Qatar, but he stayed a little bit longer because obviously your health and you was away, but you're back.
Brotherly love, man.
Brotherly love, and we're glad to have you back, and the energy's there. I don't like the nickname, but at least Laurie's back. But listen,
it's my second week back, man, and I must say, I've said this before. I've thanked everybody out there for all the well wishes, cards I got, messages, emails, all the love from the staff at AFTV and GFN, my brother, obviously, family, everybody, man. It's very supportive. To cut a long story short, I had a stomach operation and I caught a couple of infections whilst in the hospital. Although, having said that, I was looked after very well in the hospital. So shout out to the surgeons, the doctors and the nurses. And,
right, man, sounds like Ty.
I do, but listen, man, I mean it. It's genuine, it's sincere. And listen, I'm still working my way back to full health. I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm getting there, man. I'm feeling good.
No, it's good to hear. It's good to hear. It's good to have you back, and it's good that Arsenal are back as well. It's been lovely.
Man, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's before we get into his energy, I'm gonna stick with energy because I've come back to the UK, come back from the summer of Argentina and Brazil, and it's just dread here. It's rain. It's that time as well between Christmas and New Year where you just want to be in bed, but we're here delivering content, and I want to just keep the energy high because a lot of people.
So tell the people, man. I mean, they must be wondering, like I was when I first. How did you come to be out there?
Okay, so that's a good question. Oh, look at you doing it's my role. We doing bloods.
Yeah, because when I heard you was doing all these trips, and I'm seeing all these pictures of you, of all these dignitaries, and with the Arsenal guys. And all that, I'm like, how did you get out there?
No, so I was working for CONCACAF. If you guys don't know what it is, it's like a union. It's like the UEFA for Europe. CONCACAF is like that for North America, Central America, Canada countries. And they were launching their TikTok. So this is where it gets a bit mad. Obviously, you know about TikTok anyway. You're not that old. You're not. I'm gonna. He's not that.
I very rarely go on it, but I do.
You know about TikTok.
It is on my phone.
So to say that that was what I was doing. I was there launching CONCACAF's TikTok. There was a press release about it. I was the face of it. It was a big achievement for me. It was massive. And I just got for the World Cup. I got taken around the world to, report from the fans and do content around the fans in those countries to build their TikTok account. Our target was to get 10,000 followers. We're at 100,000 now, plus. 7 million views was a target for view-wise. I don't know if I'm allowed to say all this, but I'm saying it. We had 10+ million views within the first week. So, we went out. I'm
sure Robbie's listening to this thinking, we want to see that.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely doing that. He's right.
That. He's doing that for CONCACAF.
You better come back and that's happening. That will definitely happen. I'll probably have a meeting with Robbie about that. But so no, it was really successful. It was a trip of a lifetime. It really was. It was just, I'll never forget it. It was the best job I've ever done, and obviously there was a lot of things in it which we might touch on depending on how this live goes later on.
Shout out to you, man. I mean,
appreciate that.
I've seen even from a hospital bed, I was watching, observing you. You look like you're doing a great job and enjoying yourself, man. So shout out, man.
No, big up everyone. Big up everyone in the comments. Big up you as well. I mean, it's once in a lifetime thing. I had imposter syndrome at some point, thinking like, how is this a thing? Why am I here and stuff? But grateful. Thanks to everyone that's supported rather the channel and just me and my journey. But it was amazing, and big up everyone. Anyway, let's move forward because it's getting mushy.
Enough of the lovey.
Love stuff. I don't know all this Christmas stuff still here though. Christmas is done, but I don't know. I'll probably stay till New Year in it.
Yeah, it's alright.
Why are you? And you're just Laurie.
Hey, listen, man. I get cold quickly, bro.
Sorry,
I'm not a young man like you.
You got 2 jackets on. Is this a vest?
It's a gilet. Gilet. That's the modern term.
It's a gilet. It's a modern term.
But yeah, man. I'd have to keep myself warm.
All right, let's go into, obviously, to start with, just a look back at the West Ham game, because obviously we did a fan cam. You did a fan cam, but unfortunately, obviously, didn't get released. So we're just going to just talk through briefly of the game, because basically what we're going to discuss in the game actually highlights a lot of what the show is going to be about. From Eddie Nketiah, Arsenal being back, Arsene Wenger being there, talking about Arsene Wenger, going to go into that. And also Pep Guardiola speaking about, his thoughts on Arsenal right now. So we'll get into it. Let's just, Laurie, for you, first game back after the World Cup, 3-1 win. You were on the watch long championing Eddie Nketiah because you felt the mood and it still kind of does slightly, even though he scored, you can see if he doesn't continue this form, I think people will be quick to change. So just your thoughts on the game and then Eddie Nketiah as well.
Thoughts on the game, first things I want to see, 2 words, hammer time. That's what I said before the game. Listen, I mean, I knew that this was a big game for Arsenal, first game back after the break for the World Cup, and it was important that Arsenal get off to a great start, and they did exactly that. A resounding 3-1 win, well deserved as well. In fact, maybe even the goal flattered West Ham, to be honest.
Wow,
I mean, they got the penalty, which was a penalty, let's be honest.
Definitely.
Against a run of play after about 20 odd minutes. But Arsenal were in the ascendancy both before and after that.
Were you worried at any point? When they went 1-0 up?
Not really. I think I did. No, remember, if you remember, when we did the watch along, I said to you, I was happy with the approach play.
Yeah.
I was happy with the way they were pretty much in control of the game. My only issue was we weren't getting enough shots off. Sometimes Arsenal, we tend to play around teams and, not get enough shots off. So I was a bit concerned about that, but not overly so. It went in 1-0 down. We come back out. Immediately, we grasped the metal. And within, I think it was about 8 or 9 minutes, man, we'd equalised. And from the minute we equalised, bro, trust me, I had a very strong feeling that we were not going to go on and just win, that we were going to win well.
Okay, I think when the goal went in, I agree with you.
I think it was about 5 minutes after that, Gabriel Martinelli beats Fabianski on his near post.
Cross or shot?
I think that was a shot.
Okay.
I think that was a shot. He might have been slightly mishit, but it was a shot.
But you said that's a cross. Would you miss it?
Because you would have expected him to cross it. The logical thing was, did he look up and see the space there? Anyway, regardless of what we say now, that's in retrospect. It beat the keeper 2-1.
Fair.
And then Eddie, who you referenced a little bit earlier there, goal of the game, brilliant goal. I mean, just to touch on what you mentioned earlier about Eddie and some of the naysayers, I had said in the lead up to the game on the watch along that I've been looking at some of the stuff on social media just before the game, and I was a little bit disappointed, I have to say this, by some so-called fans or whatever. And it's almost like that they were trying to set him up to fail kind of thing, you know what I mean? I was a bit disappointed with that, man. Because I'm like, listen, give the guy a chance, you know what I mean? He's not had a lot of starts, you know what I'm saying? And when he has started, I think you find that, I think he's had something like 11 starts, 11 goals. Yeah, so when he does start, he does tend to score. Okay, he'd not scored in the Premier League, but then he'd not really started. But listen, I was one of those, I got faith in the guy, and I think that in life, you get your opportunities. It's up for you to take them or make the most of them, and that's what he's trying to do.
No, 100%. 100%. I wonder what more he can do. That's the thing. I think there's going to be naysayers. There always will be, and I'll be interested to know what more can he do to prove to them.
No, he's just got to keep scoring. Because don't get me wrong, it's only one game.
True.
It's only
one
game.
And there's Brighton next, tough opposition coming up.
Tougher games, and in the coming weeks we got some real
United,
tough games.
Tottenham. So
ultimately he will be judged on that. So I'm not capping. You know what I mean? I'm not capping for him. I'm saying I'm backing him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the pressure is not on me or you. It's on him.
But just to score goals, because if the team's winning, it's not that. I know you kept saying, like, you kept mentioning it doesn't matter if we win and he doesn't score, the naysayers will still be there.
Yeah, they will, yeah.
But even if we're winning,
I mean,
it'll be a lot quiet. It'll be a lot quieter, really.
Yes, yeah. I mean, listen, if he doesn't score and we're still winning games and we're topping the table and we go on to win the Premier League, then obviously, you know what I mean, he won't get called out. Yeah. But let's be honest, man, in terms of his position in the team and what he brings to the team and how he will be thought of by the fans in a professional sense.
Yeah.
He will need to score goals. I mean, any striker, the currency is goals.
Is it unfair? Because Jesus started well. I think he's got 4 goals or 5 goals in 4 goals in the league. I think 5 goals altogether. Is it unfair that Eddie doesn't get that same sort of, he'll get that leniency if he doesn't score that Gabriel Jesus kind of gets?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. I mean, it's slightly different for Jesus because he came into the club on a wave of euphoria, didn't he?
That's true.
And optimism, and he was the guy that we was all rallying behind. And to be fair to him, he's been the catalyst for a lot of the good things.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a very good point.
So he's done his job in that respect. Okay, towards before he got injured, shall we say?
Yeah.
His goal scoring form had tailed off slightly,
Yeah.
but he was still putting in performances whereby you would say, okay, he's not scoring, man, but he's producing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Which is, Eddie doesn't quite have that skill set. With respect,
I agree with that.
Eddie's more of a poacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He still contributes. He does a lot of pressing and stuff like that. But those little bits of sublime skill that Jesus will typically bring, Eddie. Not yet, anyway. Maybe he's still only young. Maybe he might acquire those skills over time. But the two are slightly different players.
It's very interesting, guys. And I want you guys to let us know in the comments as well, because Laurie speaks about how Jesus was the catalyst. I've just done a
one-off. Yeah, not the only one.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you there. I think he changed. Yeah, he brought in a different mindset, and not just him, of course, Zinchenko and whatnot. But I think he was a catalyst as well. But I filmed a wrapped video of the 2022 of the year, and yes, he was a catalyst for change. But then it still is unfair on Eddie, because tail end of the season he came in against Chelsea, changed our. Yes, we didn't get top 4 in the end, but he was a big change when he came in when there was no Aubameyang, Lacazette wasn't there. He's done really well. He had a good kind of run towards the end of the season. So I think that's what I said. Is it fair? Does he get a fair enough judgment? I think there is definitely a quality drop in Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. Let me get out there. There's things that Jesus can do that I don't think Eddie possesses yet. But we've got to judge him fairly. He's scoring goals. He came in last season. He helped us. I know we didn't get top 4, but he did help us. Let's not forget that. He's been trusted by Mikel Arteta. He wanted Eddie to stay from the get-go. So we've got to trust in that as well. We've got given his 100 grand a week, the 14 top. So I just think sometimes, I know people are quick to jump and I don't think they want to see him fail, but they're quick to jump at if he doesn't score, he's not good enough. We need a new striker. But I think we need to give him more of a break in that sense. But pick up Eddie Nketiah. Hopefully, he's going to be playing a lot of games anyway going forward.
When you say fair, it's a yes or no type situation, is it? Because like I said before, when you're a striker, your currency is goals. Ultimately, that's what you'll be judged by. Yeah. And I think it's also fair to say that Eddie has yet to prove himself as an elite top striker. Yeah. Well, not even say elite, as a Premier League striker.
Yeah.
To the fans, you know what I mean? But then a lot of that is down to the fact that he's not had the starts. He's not had the run of games. So listen, the jury's still out, and he's still yet to prove himself. But the difference between myself and where a lot of other fans are is that I'm giving him the opportunity to.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this, as unfortunate as the circumstances were in which he was given his opportunity, the fact is, with Jesus being out for a number of weeks, if not months, this now provides Eddie with the opportunity to show the likes of me, you, and the fan base and the manager and everybody else out there that he's capable of stepping up.
Okay,
so far I think he is.
Yes, okay, let's do this then, because I know you already spoke about on the live before, I believe, with Turkish, saying 10 goals by the end of the season's a good return for him this season, whether he's been number 2 or number 1. Let's go to, you said you're giving him a fair, chance, prove to the fans. So what game are you going up to? So say, we don't know if Jesus is going to be back. I'm just going to read off, so we've got Brighton next, then Newcastle, then Tottenham, this is the league games, then United, and that brings us to February, where Jesus might be returning. I mean, we haven't got a solid date yet. Mikel Arteta is being very shrewd of when he might return. But what you saying, up until United, if he's scoring goals, you think, he will sway a lot of the fan base? Or if he doesn't, is United kind of the cut-off, the end of Jan? Is that what you think, right?
It's difficult to say, really, because we don't know when Jesus is coming back. I mean, he could come back ahead of schedule. He might come back on schedule or behind schedule even. You don't know how these injuries are going to play out. And then let's be honest and say as well that even when he returns, because of the nature of the injury, it's going to take him a couple of weeks to get back up to speed. I think that's an overlooked factor with injuries. You don't always just get it straight back that first week. What I mean? Even the best players will suffer from that. So listen, what the question was a couple of weeks ago, or even last week, when Robbie put it to me, was what amount of goals would you be satisfied with by the end of the season?
That's a hard question.
And we threw that figure out there, 10.
You said 10. It's still a hard question because you don't know what the other players are getting.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
contributing to goals, and especially if you're going for a title charge. We are currently in the race. How much is acceptable? How much is it that can kind of get us over the line? So I think 10 is that the minute?
No,
Is that the minimum?
You've got to understand, right? And I'm talking 10 Premier League goals, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
Because we've only played 15 games as of now. The season is not even halfway there yet, you know. So, you know what I mean? We're 38 games in a season.
That's very true.
So there's a lot of games left.
That's very true. I think 10 league goals.
So I think 10 is fair.
It's a fair return.
And don't forget, he's playing in a very good team, and chances will be created, as you saw the other night. Because even in the game the other night, there was a chance he missed in the first half.
The one,
which really he could have done better with. Let's be honest. And straight away, the chat online was, look, you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying, man. Give the man a chance. Because, okay, he didn't do as well as we would have liked with that first opportunity.
Yep.
But his overall play was good. Very good even. And in the second half, I think it was 69, 70 minutes. His goal was the best goal of the night.
If Jesus scored that, I said this. If Jesus scored, they would be raving about it, spinning the man. They'd be raving about it.
The way he spun that guy, man.
Bad man ting.
Bad man ting, Bridge.
Bad man ting. All right,
left him.
Let's move this conversation on. We're gonna just read. Let me just read some comments quickly. Dave Jordan says, Laurie, did you not watch the game? Numerous times Eddie was dropping deep and spinning his man. And he has done for 12 months. It's disrespectful to call him just a poacher. He's an incredible athlete. I don't know if that is. Dave Jordan's known for sarcasm. Dave Jordan, he's known for sarcasm. So I don't know if he's being sarcastic or if he's being real there. I mean,
listen, man. When I said about poacher, I was
it's one of his skill sets.
Yeah, that's it.
It's one of his skill sets.
Because you can sort of define strikers into different categories.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what I mean? You know, you get your fox in the box stroke, poachers, blah, blah, blah. These are not my terms. They're just terms that have been out there from way before I even got in this game.
No, they're not going to cancel you.
So me calling him a poacher was not in any way to denigrate his skill set. What I'm saying is that he is slightly different to Jesus. Jesus is the type of man that can open up defences, beating 2-3 man.
Quick and tight on the ball. Yeah, it's fair.
I've not seen Eddie do that as much.
Yeah.
What I've seen Eddie do is get on the end of things. He's very sharp, very quick over the first 10, 20 meters.
He is.
And he can get into positions. He's intelligent like that. And he'll get in the box and he can do bits.
He can. Let me go to the next comment here. Culture Mark says, big up Cecil and Laurie. Martinelli has done this before. He deliberately shot at the near post because the keeper expects him to cross it. As for Eddie, plenty more to come. He'll only get better. So I think he deliberately meant to shoot there as well. I know there's conversations whether it was a cross or shot, but I think
in the end it don't matter, does it?
It went in. I think he caught the keeper off guard. I think you're right there. Most keepers expect to cross, so there's always a slight gap where you can expose. Quickly here, Netweed09 says, I mean, we've got people backing Eddie, the pizza boy here. How are we going to win the league with these gutter standards? It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Is that a wind-up? Because I can't believe somebody would.
People, you know.
But then, you know what's Cecil, right?
Does it reflect?
That was reflective of some of the stuff I saw in the lead up to the game, which I have to say, frankly, disappointed me because I'm like, it's first game back. The guys are pushing to maintain their status as top of the league, and this is a big game against West Ham. Come on, man, support the team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They've got to listen. The team got a lot of people to prove wrong. So a very young side.
Comments like that are unnecessary.
Very unnecessary.
Derogatory. You know what I mean. Let's keep it positive.
Let's keep it moving. Now we're gonna go on to it's a game that's being played tonight. After this live, everybody head home and watch it. Leeds versus Man City. Leeds at home. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because it does tie in with Arsenal. Pep has come out and said, I believe before the game, I saw this online in a publication, saying that after our defeat against Brentford and with how strong Arsenal are, we have to be alert because if the distance is bigger, it'll be difficult to catch them. Now, he's obviously talking about us and then the gap now. And it's interesting to hear Pep Guardiola speak about Arsenal, and I know we are top of the league at the moment, but he's aware that they have to be on it every match, because if that gap does get bigger, I believe we're on 40 points now. They're on 32 points. They've got 2 games in hand, or 1 after tonight. But that's becoming a reality right now. I mean, there's still games to be played.
You say that about the games in hand, but there's an old saying, Cecil. You may be.
I probably know it. I do know it.
You may be a bit young to remember. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Okay, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that means, loosely translated, that means it's always better to have the points in the bag and be on top. Let the other team worry about those games in hand, because there's no guarantee that they're going to win those games in hand. There's no guarantee that they're going to go to Leeds and win tonight.
Is there pressure on City?
Of course there's pressure.
Do you feel like they're going to be
don't get me wrong, they're one of the teams that can certainly handle the pressure.
True.
But there's pressure nonetheless. And what you said about Pep there, I would expect nothing less from him. He recognises that Arsenal are a clear and present danger, and he has to acknowledge that and make sure the team, who are a collection of very good individuals, not to mention a great team themselves, but in other words, he's putting those statements out there to focus the team and say, listen, man, Arsenal are for real. Let's not take our eyes off the prize, because if we do, then we're going to slip up.
Satisfying feeling for you as a fan to hear that? Obviously, Pep Guardiola.
As I said, I wouldn't expect anything less than Pep. He's a top manager and has been for many, many years. So I don't expect him to be openly complacent.
Fair.
You know
fair.
I mean?
But do you feel? Yeah, because I wonder if you're right, and that's a very professional thing that he said there. But I wonder if he is actually worried in any sense, or if is it just listen, we've had Liverpool down our necks or whatnot, and we've been pushing for titles against them, and it's gone down to the wire. Is he really worried about Arsenal? Because I still think they're going to go and win the league, Man City. So I wonder if he I know he's saying that in the press, but does he really feel that, or does he feel like, you know what, this is usual business for me?
He will be aware that Arsenal are out in front, and he will be aware that the mood and the vibes around Arsenal at the moment is good.
Yep.
And he will know that, Arsenal are a real challenge, that he's in a serious fight. He will know this. So then what he's done, which is, again, commendable, he's making those statements to get his team motivated to say, listen, man, we got to step our game up and rise to the challenge.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. He's not going to go on and be composed and calm, and his team would see that, I suppose, when they watch him. Think, oh, man's not worried. We can just play normal like that. That's how you get slip-ups.
That would be remiss of him. Like, that would not be in keeping. Look, he's a very intense guy, Pep, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think Arteta has that same sort of quality though?
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah,
I believe so as well. I think he's very.
And you do need that. You have to get the balance right, because sometimes you don't want to go overly over the top.
Yeah.
However, he's a very smart, calculating individual. He knows what he's doing.
Nice.
When guys like Pep come out and say things, man, they don't just say things off the top of their head like that. Everything is calculated. Everything is desired to have an effect.
An impact. Yeah, so, they're calculating what they say.
So if he's come out and said that, you can rest assured that he's thought about that first.
100%. Now, you're following the conversation along here with us. I'm going to keep going back to the comments to follow along with us. As Tony C says in the comments, if we get top 4 this year, that is a big achievement given the number of years we have been away from the Champions League. Very true. And the fact that we haven't spent as much money as City, United, Liverpool or Chelsea. Yeah, he makes a very good point there, considering you've seen.
Yeah, the only thing I would say about that is,
as well, recently. Go on.
The only thing I would say, and don't get me wrong, initially, if you said at the start of the season, top 4 finish, most fans, myself included, I'm pretty sure
that's the target.
That would have been the target.
Yeah, that's the target. That's my target.
However, and we talked about this today in the office, what happens in the scenario where there's, hypothetically, this is, so there's 3-4 games left and Arsenal are pretty much out in front. It's theirs to lose. And God forbid we implode and lose it. Now, is that seen as a disappointment, or are you just happy to say, well, actually, I didn't expect to win the league anyway. Give me a top 4 finish and I'm good with that. Or is there a palpable sense of disappointment to say, look, we had the title in our hands, and we didn't get it over the line.
Were you disappointed we didn't get top 4 last season?
Yeah, I was.
Well,
yeah.
but that answers that question
yeah,
there,
exactly,
because that the circumstances change. If you asked before the season started, you're going to get 5th, you'd be like, before everything, signings, everything, you'd be like, nah, there's no way. After 8th place finish twice, you wouldn't even expect to be there 1 point away from top 4 football, Champions League football the next season. I wouldn't have taken 5th, but I'd have been like, no way. Same again, if we fast forward and I don't believe we'll be challenging for the title come towards the end of May, but if we are, it'll be a disappointment.
You don't think so? I think we'll be challenging, man. I really do, yeah. I've seen enough.
Third or so, yeah, we could be, I don't know, challenging.
Obviously, there's a few intangibles.
We might be up there, but challenging.
Challenging, bro.
Challenging.
Listen, there's a few intangibles. This is the way I see it. There's a few intangibles. One of which is, I'm sure we're going to speak later, that we need to spend in the January transfer window. This is a very, very important transfer window. There's a saying in sports and in life, in business, you build when you're at the top. That's the best time in which to build.
Laurie.
So if we can get the right kind of players through the door in January, that will be a massive thing. But I genuinely think that we are in a position we can mount a very, very decent challenge. And like I said, if it transpires at the end of the season that we imploded and we basically plucked defeat from the jaws of victory, I'm worried about how that will go down, because that will be, the narrative will be, and let's face it, you can see where people are going with this, that twice in 2 seasons under Arteta, you've been in a position of strength and you've imploded. So are the team bottle jobs? And that's what we don't want. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think
but that's,
like that.
I'm speaking way ahead.
Yeah, way ahead. But that's a
maybe
good,
I need to rein myself in.
No, that's a good topic to speak on. That's good. I like that. I really enjoy that. That's a good conversation. That's a good conversation to have, because I think if we throw it away, the fan base.
That's the narrative.
Do they change to, we could have won the league, that's now a failure, and then not realise that, we're still in the right process? Or will they be looking and say, will they be saying he's a bottled job, he's bottled it twice now? Yeah. Or they're saying, do you know what? No, that's part of the process. We maybe just be ahead of it this season, so next season might be our season. Because
that's what happened with regards to last season.
Yeah.
The top 4 place seemed to be pretty much
nailed on when we had it was
and
all
then
in
if you
our
remember,
hands.
there's those 2 games in particular, man. The Tottenham game and then the Newcastle game.
Oh, terrible.
We turned in really subpar performances. We were well beaten in both.
Yep.
And the narrative from some people was we bottled it. Now, that's not my words, but that's what some people said.
I'd say, yeah.
We went on to miss out on a top 4 finish, and there was a lot of disappointed people around.
100%.
And that's what we don't want to happen this time. So, but listen, man, it's going to be a very hard fought and entertaining running.
Yeah, that's it.
Season.
That's what
I can see it now.
I'm excited for this second half of the season. I must say, it's not even the second half.
And that's as fans that we need to embrace it. That's what I'm saying earlier. Get behind the team.
Yeah, we said this
on the
watch-along.
Don't be on this negative.
Don't be waiting for your narrative to be proven right.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be.
Bro.
Just enjoy where you
enjoy it. Embrace it. I mean, look at the atmosphere at the ground.
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Home and away. Big up Ashburton Army as well. I have to give him a shout as well in the home ground. Just it's rocking right now.
The mood, the vibe. I mean,
fans.
Let's be honest, man. Last season, there was a certain negativity especially in some of the away games, even towards us.
Yes.
As an establishment.
I have many stories.
Exactly.
I have many stories.
And that was very, very disappointing to witness and to hear about. But this season's been totally different.
It's been lovely. And I may it continue. And again,
that's everybody getting behind the team, embracing the moment, and
100%.
And so we move.
May it continue because like I said, it's a great time right now. I've got a super chat here from Rizwan, says biggest transfer window in the last 20 years, I reckon. Now that kind of goes to your point of saying when you're at the top, you strengthen. You see many other clubs do it. I saw Josh Kroenke in LA, and the mood he gave me when we were speaking is that they are going to invest in January. Quite whatever Arteta wants.
Did he tell you that personally? Because I know you and him.
No, not like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because
did he give you any
because people will be like,
insider info.
Look at this. Look, you're not a fan channel. Blah blah blah. Look, he's speaking with the higher ups. But no, the way you're speaking, and it felt genuine. I believe I'm very good at gauging people energy-wise, if they're telling the truth. I think that comes with presenting. I think it comes with speaking to a lot of people in the role that I do, and just my gauge of humans and people. I think I have a good network of people from my gauge of who they are. So when he was speaking to me, it felt like, and what he was saying is, yeah, we're back in Arteta. I feel like they felt last January window, they learned from their mistake in not investing. I think Arteta did mention, you know, if he had the funds to invest in January, he would have. But there was problems where they couldn't do that. They was obviously trying to get rid of Aubameyang and other people trying to get him out of the club. I think this January they've learned from that, and I generally believe. I mean, they already put in a bid for Mudryk. That says enough. But I think they're going to do more than just that. And they're aware that where they are, top of the league, and they had that meeting to discuss what's next. Edu spoke with me intensely for a long time in the bar and was like, "This is why we're here, to discuss the next steps." So I have faith in it. I might have been misled. Listen, Arteta has lied to me in the past. I went to America in the preseason, asked him when Fabio Vieira will be back, and he lied to me. He said in 2 to 3 weeks. But
was that an informed decision for him to lie, or was it just something? No, I think it was.
I think it might have.
It just happened.
Yeah, I think they expected him to be back in 2 to 3 weeks. It was a little bit longer, but I felt I had a genuine conversation with Josh, and I feel like that was real. And I think, and Edu, we speak quite often. That sounds weird to say. So
listen, man, the fact that these guys are taking you into their confidence
is mad.
Is big things for you, isn't it?
It's mad. But yes, but
man, I hear you.
But there was no inside. I think everyone was like expecting me to come with a big story, but there wasn't really much. I think all the news I had was at the time relatively new, but then it's all come out. Like they were going to the LA Rams game off the next day. Then Arteta was going to Dubai. Edu, people probably didn't know this, but he was flying back to the UK to sort out business. I think you'll be right with me saying that. So he didn't travel to Dubai at that time. But all of it was relatively information that we knew already. Like, you know, January is their focus. They are looking to strengthen. Arteta said in his interview recently that, you know, they want to get the right person. I felt like that's what they were saying when I was with them. They were looking for the right person or people. And yeah, so that was kind of that. But we are going to move on because time is flying on. We spoke about Man City. We spoke about, you know, the gap and whatnot. Now it's time to talk about the main news. Arsene Wenger, he was at the game. First time back, Laurie, since he was in charge. To me, that's
2018.
Sad. Yeah.
I was at that game, actually, the last game of the season when he bowed out.
No, I wasn't.
When he bowed out that day and had all the paraphernalia on the seats and everything. And I was there.
It's sad he hasn't come back since that time.
Is it though?
Now we're getting right. This is what here. Let me say.
I think
everyone in the chat get ready. We're gonna
listen. Let me say this. Yeah.
Go on.
Some people, when I say this, they may get a little bit angsty with me or even upset. But this is how I feel.
No, I think people will agree with you. What I see.
Arsene Wenger was a great servant to this club. Possibly the best manager ever in Arsenal's history. I don't think that's a stretch to say.
I think that's a stretch for me in my lifetime, definitely.
However, as in the case of all great sportsmen and women, your time comes to an end, yeah? And I think, this is my opinion anyway, and I'm pretty sure a number of people share that, even if they don't want to come and vocalise it.
From what I see in the chat, I think they do.
I will. His time had come to an end, and I think...
I agree with that.
He was in danger of being one of those sportsmen...
that ruin their legacy.
Are in danger of tarnishing their legacy by staying on too long.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would have liked to have seen him bow out of Arsenal a couple of seasons before that.
Yep.
I think it was in danger of going on too long, and I think a lot of the fans were expressing that view. Some were expressing it in a, shall we say, a slightly harsh and maybe even disrespectful manner.
Yep.
And that's where the problems are. And I wasn't one of those, I hasten to add.
Good.
So he left the club by common consensus. That was in 2018. He's not come back until now. It was great timing, by the way, him coming back and them getting the win in such a emphatic way the other day.
Yep.
But me personally, I wasn't like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, you come back. I even said to you today, innit? How many times have you gone back to your previous place of work?
Okay, then let's open this floor. Let's open the conversation up. You're right, you did ask me that, and that was a good way to look at it. But when you're a legend of a place, Laurie, like, it's sad that I don't know if he didn't feel welcome back, but it's sad that he hasn't returned for that long.
I suspect he took it a bit personally.
100%.
He left because
100%.
as good a manager or as great a manager as he was, he's like a lot of great sportsmen and great people. He has an ego, yeah? And I think that he would have felt slightly chastened that he probably didn't get the send off or he deserved. Or maybe even he felt that, listen, man, I wanted to leave the club on my own terms. Yeah. Was he pushed or did he jump? Or, you know what I mean? There was all that argument surrounding his departure. I just think he had to humble himself a little bit and say towards the end it didn't quite work out, but that didn't really tarnish his legacy and achievements too much. But I think had he have stayed on even another season, you would have got to that stage where the fans would have been openly calling for his head. Yeah. And you wouldn't want that. Some of them were anyway. But if he'd have gone on another season or two, that would have been the scenario. I think, listen, man, he was a great manager. He had his time, like all great sportsmen. You leave at the top and you pave the way for another person to come in.
I hear that. I hear that.
So I have no problem with what's happened. He's not been back since 2018. That's fine. Like I said, I left my last place of work. I haven't been back there. You probably the same there.
But if
it's the same for millions of people.
If you're a legend at that place, or you've done a lot for that company, say if I was
but millions of people are in that same boat where they've left places and they're held in high esteem.
But why is now the right timing then?
Because that's one chapter of your life. You move on to the next, and you allow the people at your previous workplace or employment or wherever or club or whatever the vocation is, to allow them to grow as well. You don't want to keep casting that spectre over where you were before.
Like Sir Alex.
You have to move on, and they have to move on. That's the way I look at it.
Like
Maybe
Sir Alex
people out there, let us know how you feel.
No, we're gonna.
So I don't think there's no disrespect that he's not been back for 4 years. I think the timing's right.
It just saddens me. It just saddens me a bit. We're gonna close the show on this conversation because it's a big one. Now we're gonna just read some super chats before that. Got a super chat from Nachi. Nashe Bulla says, tell Robbie Ivan Tony's mum is Jamaican, yard man tick.
Yeah, we already knew that, man.
Shorty AFC says, Sky Sports James and Hollywood Cecil. I'll take Hollywood Cecil over Salt Bay Cecil. I'll tell you that every day of the week. But yeah, okay, let's open up then, because this is what's going on now. There's word that a statue is going to be built for Arsene Wenger. We saw him at the game against West Ham. And I've got a little bit from a publication, I think from the Mail Online. There's a little bit written up here. But firstly, before I go into it, big up Stricto, because in his fan cam, he said, give this man a statue, give him a stand, give him something, because he is a legend regardless.
I think Stricto was more leaning towards a stand, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A statue.
Rather than a statue.
Listen, I'm okay with either of those, to be honest.
Okay.
Like I said, he was pretty much everyone that I speak to anyway said that he's the best manager ever in Arsenal's history. He is responsible for the stadium, the Emirates Stadium. Listen, man, his legacy is secure.
Okay, pick out of these three then, and people will listen as well. Pick out of these three: a statue, a stand, or right now the Emirates is bare. They're looking to. I've either got artwork done already, but maybe like a nod to him in some of the artwork on the stadium. What would you, out of those three, which one do you think's the number one for you that he should receive?
It might be something that they might want to consult with him and give him the options, see what he's happy with.
Because he has got a statue head in the stadium. As you go into, I think it's the director's area, as you enter it, he's got his statue there of his head. So he already has one. Yeah. It's on the thumbnail as well. It's behind us here. So yeah, that would be good.
Some would say a stand has more of a lasting legacy.
Wenger stand is nice, man. Yeah, or Arsene Wenger stand, or the Arsene stand. Yeah, Arsene Wenger stand.
There might be some people out there say do both. I don't know, but listen, man. I'm in favour of whatever they want to do. As long as it's tastefully done.
I like people are getting involved in. It's called a bust. Sorry, I actually did know that. I haven't thought of it in a while, so I was worried in case I was
bust is something that likes inside the building.
Yeah, but that's what it was. He's got that.
The statue obviously is outside the building. Yeah, people can go and pay homage to if you like.
People are saying statue. Some people are saying stand. Kurt says why not both? No one's mentioned maybe the artwork on the stadium of him. But yeah, not interesting.
I'm cool with either the statue or the stand.
Okay, let's round off with asking him returning in any capacity for you, because for me, he said not at all. People listening, not at all.
No.
Awesome.
Listen, if Mikel Arteta, who is the current manager, obviously has a situation where he thinks, you know what, let me ring up Arsene. I'm sure he's got his number. he can call him up and say, look, Arsene,
need some advice on
this has happened. What's your advice? How would you deal with it? Or this is what I intend to do. What do you think? Listen, that's fine. Yeah. More power to him for doing that, for reaching out. If you're asking me, on the other hand, where he should be given an official position at the club, right, then I would not be in favour of that. And I'll tell you why. Because I just think, as I alluded to it earlier, you need to move on now, man. You know what I mean? Arsene Wenger,
but he works at FIFA. He works at, he talks about a lot of the progressive stuff within football. So, you know,
I'm talking about him giving an official capacity within the club.
Okay.
I'm saying to you, I would not necessarily be in favour of that because I want Arteta to carve his own niche, his own destiny, and he's only going to be able to do that if he's allowed to get on with the job himself.
Yeah.
I just think that if you have Arsene Wenger back in an official capacity at the club, then he's casting his spectre over the club and over the manager. And I think you're in danger of undermining the manager.
Interesting.
That's how I feel. And that's not, like I said, I want to make it clear. It's not a disrespect. I'm not denigrating Arsene Wenger. I'm just talking of the need for people to create their own legacies.
Yep.
And for Wenger to move on, man. He needs to move on. He needs to forget about Arsenal.
Arteta could still, you know, create a legacy with Arsene Wenger in some capacity in the club. Listen, in the comments, someone saying Wenger's the father of the club. He needs to have a role at the club he really loves, says Tony C. I saw someone say, Sean says Laurie is right. Some people are saying, why can't it be? SAE87 says assistant to Arteta. I'm not saying I'm not saying he should be that close. Man. But do you know what saddens me? Right?
Hell no.
Do you know what saddens me is the fact that when players leave or big figures of Arsenal leave, they don't really return in some capacity. We've seen obviously Mertesacker's in there, Jack Wilshere's returned, but I'm talking about like legends of the club. So Ian Wright it's mainly through Adidas. It's never really through Arsenal. It's not like Arsenal wanting him back within Arsenal. Arsene Wenger's taking this long to come back after so many years. Thierry Henry, he's rarely ever back within the walls of Arsenal Football Club, giving whether it's advice or whatnot. It happens every now and then, but it's not, for me, it's not enough. The people
I disagree, bro.
That's why I personally think, I just think that it saddens me a little bit.
What do you want him to come back and do?
I don't know the answer to that right now, but I think sentimentally for me, I think obviously after seeing the photos of Saka when he met Arsene Wenger saying finally we meet and stuff like,
yeah, that's fine and dandy, but an official capacity at the club to do what exactly? What's he going to do? I mean, like I said, if a situation arose where Mikel Arteta sought his advice, that's fine, and even that should be, you know what I mean? It should be covert, like it should be.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't need a role. It doesn't need. But I don't know. I would like people, prominent figures of Arsenal's history, just within the club, whether it's in a consortium that's not as serious in the sense of they have to be there every day.
Well, if it's not serious, then why bother with it? You know what I mean? So, in other words, what you're saying, it's a token appointment. He doesn't want that, man. The man is a legend.
Yeah, he is a legend.
He doesn't want to be given out handouts of token appointments like that. You know what I mean? It's just not in keeping with the type of person he was. I mean, he was responsible.
I don't know, Laurie.
A large part of what he's seen today with Arsenal. You know what I mean? He built that. That you can never take that away from him.
I just think
now that he's built that, that's his legacy. You know what I mean? That was his time. With respect, this is a different time, different era. Yes, we've benefited from those things that he put in place. But it's now up to somebody else to take the club forward. Hopefully that's what Mikel Arteta's doing. And so we move.
Yeah, I just think, to round off, it's the sentimental side of me. It's my childhood looking at Arsenal and wanting it to be somewhat still within
You've got this
Arsenal.
kind of idyllic notion.
I do, and that's the truth of it all. I grew up on these people, on these prominent figures of Arsenal, and David Dean was here. I'm not going to go to that. I'm going to go to, when he launched his book, he arranged for, I think, Wenger it was in London. It was in a theatre in London. I can't remember it specifically, so forgive me. But he had the Invincibles there. He had Thierry Henry there. Campbell was there. He had Wenger there. They were all there at his book launch, going through his history of the club, and they all went up on stage. And I don't.
But with respect, Cecil, that's slightly different. that is that's an occasion whereby you're honouring the people that help build the club.
But
That's fine. But you were talking earlier about him being given an official role, some official capacity within the club, and I'm saying I wouldn't want to see that because I think that he's done his thing there. He's left his legacy. That is secure. We honour and respect that, but we also say, right, it's time to move on.
Okay.
Time for the next person to come and cement their legacy.
I respect that. I just think, yeah,
Can't keep harping back, man. You have to move forward.
I think we are moving forward. I think we it's clear at Arsenal Football Club. You've seen it, the culture change and whatnot. But it just, for me, if we did win a nice trophy, if we had Wenger somewhere within the club, and maybe, I don't know.
Listen, I'm sure if we win the title, which let's face it is a possibility, I'm pretty sure he'll be back on that day when we.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be invited.
I think that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Just him there, maybe pitch side. Let Arsene, let Arteta have his moment, whatnot, with the team, whatnot. But then he's there, and they're singing his name again as well. Like I reckon for him that must have been a surreal moment, amazing moment. Him to sit there, the cameras pan to him in the stadium, and they're singing "There's only one Arsene Wenger." Like. That must have made him feel warm inside, especially the way he left the club, which I agree with you. I think was the right time. Well, actually, it should have been a lot earlier. But yeah, he overstayed a little bit. But I'm sure he felt going back there. Wow,
I'm sure it was emotional.
It feels different here.
I'm sure
right
it was
now.
Emotional for him. I mean, let me give you an example of where this sort of official capacity thing can go slightly wrong. So if you remember when Sir Alex...
Yeah, fair.
And I'm going to say this now, and again, some people may come at me. I think he's probably the greatest manager that in my lifetime.
Right, yeah, I think that's fair.
Even slightly ahead of Arsene Wenger, as much as I acknowledge what a great manager Wenger was. But I would say that Fergie is acknowledged as the best manager of all time. So you recall that when he left United... he advocated for David Moyes to take over. And at that time, Alex Ferguson was still involved at Man United.
Okay, yep.
When it didn't go right for David Moyes, and let's face it, he didn't go right for him at all. One of the reasons that people gave for it not going right, they're saying that the spectre of Fergie loomed over the club while David Moyes was there, to the point where he felt almost undermined at times. Yeah,
it's still to this day. I think.
Yeah,
it's still the Ronaldo thing.
That's an example of what I'm talking about. There needs to be a clean break. Somebody else come in, and then they can hopefully forge their own legacy.
I did mention this in my argument. I knew that could be brought up.
Yeah.
But
and that's just one example. I'm sure there's
there'll be others. I don't know. It's my sentimental side. But listen, that is it anyway, people, for this live. Laurie, thank you. It's been a good
man, I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it as well.
Man, I've enjoyed it
as well. Big up everyone that got involved in the comments as well and listened and watched along.
Let us know what you think. I mean, am I in the wrong? Am I being disrespectful of Wenger? I don't think I am.
I don't think
I'm saying it from a place of love and respect. I'm saying I don't want to see him come back in an official capacity. Yes, I'm more than happy for him to come to the Emirates. I mean, who am I to say not to? But even then, I wouldn't want to see him there like on a regular basis, to the point whereby the focus is on him rather than the current manager. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a difficult situation when you've been such an integral figure of the club. It almost befits that you have to walk away. Even if you want to come back, you kind of have to stay away. Because if you do keep coming back, you know what I mean, you're in danger of hogging the limelight a little bit, and people interpret it in the wrong way.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a very difficult situation.
There's one last super chat before we go. Dave Jordan says, Henry moving like French damn pots, so negative. I think that's because there was some comments came out from Henry about, you know, there's a pressure, they apply more pressure to Arsenal now, the position that they're in. I haven't fully read all the comments, so don't rely on me verbatim for it, but I know that there is probably pressure.
Well, Henry's in quite a difficult situation, to be honest, because if you think about it, there's always he's in media now a lot.
Yes, he is.
And there's always a camera being thrust in his face, and people are always asking him questions. And to be fair to Henry, as much as he will advocate for the club, there are times when he has to put forth what he thinks are his honest opinions. And if he's being honest, then the chances are he's going to upset
a lot of people, yeah.
So it's a very difficult situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Henry, you already know it. he's done a few podcasts recently. His standards are extremely high, and he's trying to adjust to this new school of football and stuff, and players having their say.
Because if he gives a series of bland answers, there's going to be people out there saying, "Oh, come on, you're just
not being real."
You're not being your real self. You're just speaking as a club man. We want to know what the real Thierry Henry thinks.
Yeah.
If he does give an honest opinion, and it doesn't quite align with what some people think or what some people want to hear, then he's going to be a hater, or you're going to be a bitter ex-player, this, that. You know what I mean? So I've got empathy with Henry. It's a very difficult situation he finds himself.
It's a tough one. But again, like I said, thank you everyone for joining us. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to you all. If you don't celebrate, happy holidays. Hope you're enjoying the break. That is it from us, me and Laurie. It's been a very good show. Thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the content coming away from AFTV, and we'll see you again very soon.
Very soon. I just want to, if I can,
go on.
If I can, a quick little plug for the Talk is Cheap show, featuring myself and Curtis Shaw. Big up Curtis Shaw from Curtis Shaw TV. We'll be doing that show. We're recording it tomorrow. I'm not sure what time it comes out. But yeah, look forward to that in the next couple of days. And also, be remiss of me to not say Happy New Year and see you guys soon.
Yeah, we'll see you very soon. Check out all the content coming, especially Talk is Cheap. Take care, everyone. Peace.